to another episode of the Brew Log. Tonight on Brews with Drew, I'm going to be trying the third selection from Middleton Brewing. There's their can. And this is just a watermelon Kolsch. I didn't find any information on Untappd, and of course, because Middleton doesn't have their own website, I didn't find anything on their Facebook page either. It should be pretty self-explanatory. It is a Kolsch. It should taste like watermelon. Now, I might be a little quieter. When I go to edit this, I might try and bump up the volume, depending on how loud it is. But, yeah. The reason for that is because, as you can see, I was busy today. I actually, this is a table that I've had since I was probably about 18, 19 years old. And when we moved to the house, we actually had no room in our eating area, in our dining room, for the table. Because we moved to a house that had a much smaller square footage. So we had to leave this outside. Unfortunately, it got a little weather damaged. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but this side here is a little bit darker. Here, let me move the microphone real quick. I don't think you're really going to be able to see it on the video, but yeah, this whole side where sun had basically beat down on it and rain had gotten to it and stuff like that, it was never intended to be an outside table, so it got a little beat up, and yeah, so I sanded it down. I put a red stain. It was actually more of a kind of cedar looking tabletop to it, and then I put a kind of a clear coat on it, and just for a good measure, I also put some water seal on there too. I figured if I'm going to be using it for drinking beer on, and this will be the new channel's table. So yeah, I was like, yeah, why not? I have nothing better to do, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. I pretty much just sanded it, stained it, sealed it, called it a day. Now I make that sound really simple, but it did take me almost, probably the better part of about 3, 4, maybe even more hours. So yeah, but like I was saying about the Kolsch, because I didn't find anything, I did find a website that explains a little bit about German style Kolsch. I went to craftbeer.com. Again, not sponsored by any of the breweries, not sponsored by any of these. I just find information where I can find information, and I bring you my opinion on all the beers. So, unsponsored, all of that fun jazz. So, yeah, let me read you a little bit about what a German-style Kolsch is. Crisp, delicate, and oh so drinkable, the German-style Kolsch is a beer hybrid, meaning that its production and subsequent beer drinking experience saddles qualities of both lager beers and ale beers. These light and refreshing ale-lager hybrids are perfect for warm summer days and have become a favored style by American craft brewers and beer lovers alike. In addition to their thirst-quenching ability, they also are a fun beer to enjoy with food, including traditional German sausages and kraut. German-style Kolsch. The German-style Kolsch is light in color and malt character. This style's fermentation process yields a light, vinous character, which is accompanied by a slightly dry, crisp finish. Ale yeast is used for fermentation, though lager yeast is sometimes used in the bottle or final cold conditioning process. Then Kolsch beer in America. Kolsch beer stems from Cologne, Germany. but has found its way onto America's craft beer scene like many other German beers. Technically, for beers to be called a Kolsch, it has to come from the city of Cologne. But that hasn't stopped American craft brewers from embracing the Kolsch style of beers. Craft beer connoisseurs have been enjoying American Kolsch style beers during the warm seasons since the Kolsch was introduced to the American craft scene. This beer style pairs both with bratwurst, nutty cheeses, and even lighter desserts like apricot cake. Oh, that sounds delicious. Uh, we want to help you find a brewery that makes your next favorite Kolsch beer. So, yeah, there you go. And yeah, I mean, they have even more down here, finding your next favorite German beer. Category hybrid beers. It does lean more on the pale side than it does the dark side. The IBUs, the International Bittering Units, are, medium low. Let's see. ABVs range from 4.8 to 5.3%. This is actually 5.8%. So a little bit higher than a normal Kolsch. And then it has food pairings. It has glasswares. I don't believe I have a fluted glass. Nope, I don't. So I'm using a regular pint glass. Actually, nope, never mind. I do. Hold on a minute. We won't show that it's from a different brewery, but this is my Five Rights glass. But yeah, there you go, fluted glass. So I always try, like I say, to provide the right glassware for the beer. So yeah, I totally forgot that I had a fluted glass. So yeah, let's crack into this, and it sounds delicious. So I like watermelon, and I like Kolsch, so hopefully this will. Hey, I finally opened one without it exploding on me. So yeah, like I said, pretty much the only thing that I've done today was just kind of refinish this table. And then, of course, I got it in here. Now, it's been sitting in my shop here for a couple of hours, but if I start to get a little loopy, it's probably because the fumes from the seal are still very strong. But, whatever. So, let's get this a little bit better into the picture. There we go. Stupid microphone being all huge. Yeah, let's give this a smell. Okay, so you're definitely picking up a lot of watermelon on this one. You do still get those light aromatics, very lager-esque. Also very light ale smells as well. Since it's a hybrid, makes sense. But yeah, you do get a very pleasing aroma of watermelon. Very strong, pleasing aroma of watermelon. So, with that being said, I raise my glass and I cheers to the brew adventure of finding new brews, to good friends, and to easing the stresses of life away. Cheers, everyone. Let's take a drink. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. So that watermelon taste, it does come on strong but not overpowering, and it kind of lingers there for just a little tiny bit. And then you get the secondary flavors of the Kolsch, your standard Kolsch kind of mouthfeel and taste buds, or tastes. And so you do get a little tiny bit of like bready quality, but you also kind of get hoppy and yeah, there's like a nice dance between the watermelon and the hops and the malt and just the lightness overall. It also brings out a little bit of fruity flavors as well. I can't 100% put my finger on it, but I want to say apple. I get just a little hint of apple, and I think that is probably because of the watermelon that's in it. So, but yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. Now the watermelon taste is almost reminiscent of the like watermelon Jolly Ranchers. I don't know if everybody's had those before, but yeah, it tastes like watermelon, but it's not overbearing. It's not so powerful that all you really taste is watermelon. It's a very nice accompanying watermelon taste. So if that makes sense. So yeah, um, that's phenomenal. Yeah, I could totally see drinking that on a really, really hot summer day. Um, to just kind of sit, relax, enjoy the day, maybe get together with some friends or family and just, drink a beer while you're conversing with others. Um, Top notch. I like it. Absolutely great. So, yeah, there you go. That's the watermelon Kolsch um, from Middleton Brewing. Sorry. Now, I just poured the rest of the can in there, and I'm thinking that I probably should have shaken this a little bit more, or shaken this period, because you see how hazy that got. Now, it was fairly clear up until I poured out the rest of the can. Sorry, I'll try and get Five Rights Brewing's color out of there. But yeah, so okay. So now there we go. I fumbled on that one. Typically I try and get a whole can into a glass. And sometimes the adjuncts that are added to the beer, they kind of settle after a while. So I usually try and like tilt the can, not really shake it. I don't want to like sit there and go crazy with it and get and then crack it open. That would just be dumb. But yeah, so what that was that came out was more of that watermelon flavor. So now I'm getting hit with a little bit more of that watermelon flavor. Um, it's still not, it's not overpowering at all. It just accompanies the Kolsch flavors even more so than it already did. And in my mind, it makes it look cooler. So it's like a hazy Kolsch now, or I mean, it's almost even, I dare say, like a milkshake Kolsch. Mm. Um. So with that, uh, typically a good way that you can kind of prevent that is if you take your cans, right, and you just set them in the fridge like that. Um, Now this was just in my regular kitchen refrigerator, but I do have a beer fridge that actually was supposed to be a wine cooler or a wine fridge, but I don't drink wine, so it became my beer fridge. And all of my bottles, all of my cans actually sit in that fridge just like that. They sit horizontally as opposed to vertically. Um, And that's kind of one way that you can prevent stuff from settling on the bottom. So if you do have a beer, if you ask the brewery, or if you ask the bottle shop, hey, do you know if this has, like if this will have sediment on the bottom of it or whatever, then sometimes they'll tell you, yeah, just kind of take the can, slowly tilt it to the side. I sometimes will completely flip it 360 degrees. I don't want to do that with this because it's already open, but yeah, I'll take the whole can and I'll just spin it slowly and then keep going until it's back on the top. And 9 times out of 10, it will take all that sediment and it'll actually mix in with the beer. And I've had a couple of farmhouse ales, saisons, sours, lambics, stuff like that, and even a couple of ciders that actually had fruit chunks and stuff like that in it, sediment type stuff. And I'll do stuff like that, but I think I was just so excited to get out here and do a brew log and show you my new table that I kind of just forgot this time. Which is another topic that I kind of wanted to bring up. And I figure since these aren't just straightforward reviews, I might benefit from having another topic. And surprisingly enough, the topic of the day was failure. I learn highly from failure. I'm not one that typically will learn right off the bat, or out of a textbook or anything like that. I typically learn more from failing, and I was told a long time ago, it's okay to fail. It's just how I grew up, and it's how I've learned a lot of the skills that I have. If I don't screw up at least once, then typically I don't learn as much as if I do flub a little bit, and then learn from my mistakes and try again. I've said this before in the past. I'm a crane operator. There have been many times where I've gone the wrong direction. I stopped abruptly instead of coming to a smooth stop when the swing comes to an end. And yeah, I've failed. It hasn't. I've never, knock on wood, I've never gotten to a point to where I've ever been out of control while running a crane, but I have failed. I can't say that I've never failed, that I just picked it up and I had, flawless victory with everything. Same thing with the beer industry and my brew venture with the brew log. I've made countless mistakes, and I probably will continue to learn and make mistakes, but that's okay. No one is 100% right all the time, and everyone makes mistakes. It is okay. So, yeah, I don't, want to just continue to beat a dead horse on this one, but I did want to just kind of bring that up, and it was kind of funny that I had that little flub there. And I think one of the reasons that I wanted to bring it up was mostly because I was thinking pretty heavily on it today. I do suffer from a little bit of depression, a little bit of anxiety, and being on quarantine, even though it wasn't really my fault, I just I felt like a little bit of a failure, or that I had failed because, because of testing positive, I and my fiance have not been able to go down and see our grandbabies, and that being such a family oriented person, it did weigh pretty heavily on me, and I was a little bit down about it, and so typically what I'll do with that is if I'm in a depressive state, I try and do stuff like this. I'm a fairly handy person, and I can usually kind of get so absorbed into what I'm working on that it kind of lightens that depression. So yeah, and I mean, even while doing this, there's spots on this table that I didn't 100% sand the correct way, and I didn't stain it the correct way, and I probably didn't seal it the correct way. But it is what it is. I mean, I dive into it, and I mean, if I really don't like the end result, the nice thing is this is a thick piece of wood. I can sand it all back down and try again if I really want to. But yeah, and I don't really know where I wanted to end on that one. I think I just kind of wanted to touch on it, and yeah, if you guys have anything to add or comment on, please feel free to hit me up. I love getting comments. When I was doing these on my Facebook page, that was one of the highlights of starting the brew log, was getting comments from people and just conversing with people about not just topics about beer. I mean, I love to talk about beer as long as you want to talk about beer, but just talking and conversing with people. I am a huge conversationalist when it comes to other people. I typically have to be told to shut up so that people can leave. But yeah, I mean, feel free. If there's something you guys want to talk about, hit me up, and I'll reply to you. And I mean, I think I only have like 16, 17 followers at this point, so I will probably more than likely have time to get back to anyone who wants to comment and has something to say. So I think, yeah, I think this is probably long enough, and I don't want to drag it out too terribly long. So stay safe out there, support your independent craft brewers. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next episode of the Brew Log. Have a great night. Later.